Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Denisa Rusmayanti. Study ID number 1204030024, Class A, Dakwah Management, State Islamic University of Sunan Gunung Jati, Bandung. Now, I'll show you a video as a final exam assignment. Okay guys, happy watching!
Have you ever stopped and wondered why things are the way they are?
Have you ever stopped and wondered why things are the way they are?
I find it really fascinating how many things we do in our daily lives that
I find it really fascinating how many things we do in our daily lives that
are just accepted and they're rarely questioned.
are just accepted and they rarely questioned.
It's just the done thing.
It's just a done thing.
And if you do something differently,
And if you do something differently,
something out of the ordinary,
something out of the ordinary,
it can create confusion
it can create confusion
or angst or frustration among the people around you.
or angst or frustration among the people around you.
At best, you create minor discomfort.
At best, you create minor discomfort.
But at worst, you face backlash
But at worst, you face backlash
and you're shunned from your family or your social circle.
and you're shunned from your family or your social circle.
Messing with what is socially acceptable can be brutal.
Messing with what is socially acceptable can be brutal.
But what's accepted and totally normal here
But what is accepted and totally normal here
might be at odds with what's acceptable where you are.
might be at odds with what is acceptable where you are.
And that's why it's so fascinating when two sets of social norms clash.
And that's why it's so fascinating when two sets of social norms clash.
You know, it really makes people confused or awkward because technically,
It really makes people confused or awkward because technically,
in that situation, neither of them is doing anything wrong.
neither of them is doing anything wrong.
They're both doing what's expected of them in their culture.
They're both doing what is expected of them in their culture.
And that's totally normal.
And that's totally normal.
But the other person is like
But the other person is like
really shocked.
really shocked.
I'll give you an example.
I'll give you an example.
Here in Australia, it is really common to greet friends with a hug and a kiss.
Here in Australia, it is really common to greet friends with a hug and a kiss.
A kiss.
A kiss.
Now, it's hilarious when you get introduced to an Italian
Now, it's hilarious when you get introduced for an Italian
or a Brazilian in a social context because
or a Brazilian in a social context because
they go in for a double kiss.
they go in for a double kiss.
In some countries, it's even a triple kiss.
And in some countries, it's even a triple kiss.
But that little interaction can be so confusing and awkward.
But that little interaction can be so confusing and awkward.
It's the meeting of two different social norms.
It's the meeting of two different social norms.
And I mean, how strange is it when you hear a woman ask a man to marry her?
How strange is it when you hear a woman ask a man to marry her?
Why is that so strange?
Why is that so strange?
It's just not the done thing.
It's just not the done thing.
It's not the norm.
It's not the norm.
So it confuses us.
So it confuses us.
If you stop and think for a minute,
If you stop and think for a minute,
there are so many of these situations.
there are so many of these situations.
Things that we never question because
Things that we never question because
it's just the way things are.
it's just the way things are. Okay guys, now I'll tell you about the social norms that exist in my area. In my area, there is the social norms that if you are eating, you must sit and not stand. Yeah, sit and not stand. Of course, it has a reason why the norms is implemented. How about your area? Is it same?